so, how did you realign those teams to foster a culture that supported the transformation goals? And I think that we've talked about this before, and Billy just said it. It's a mindful pause.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to get everybody in the room and say, okay, I know HR needs this, I know IT needs this, but here is the overall vision and why we're doing this.
Mhm.
Okay. So Billy, what are your thoughts to Corey's question?
Yes, I have. And I think giving the end goal, like what is
Yeah.
the end goal to this? And then identifying for each role, each department, what is their end goal? Like what are they getting out of it? Is truly important. And then a way to kind of avoid that being a continual issue with people being upset or people not, not knowing what's going on is updates across, like, yes, we meet with our key stakeholders, but making sure everyone feels involved in the project, invested in it. Because there are times where they lull down and it's like, oh, well, they said we were doing this and this, this isn't happening now. And, and then that starts to fester the toxicity. And then just saying, hey, this is why we're paused. This is what's going on. And being able to share that from top leadership all the way down, I think really makes a difference and keeps momentum and keeps people excited and happy about, like, yes, I know this is coming. Yes, you said it was here. We've missed that, we missed that deadline because sometimes that happens. Why'd we
Mhm.
miss it? What happened? What's changing? And so everyone's aware and involved as opposed to it being siloed just to like your implementing group. So
Right, absolutely. It's about communication,
mhm.
right? Communicating the reasoning behind why are
Yes.
we doing this? Why are we doing this? And why are we doing it now? A lot of agencies don't have that defined up front, right?
Yeah.
It's like defining go live as well.
Hmm.
What does that mean to you, right? Does go live mean that all the blinky lights turn on, everything turns on, or does go live mean that we're effectively processing payroll in the new system? Right.
Yeah.
So it's about vision setting. It's about having those clear expectations of what it means for the overall organization and then aligning people to that vision, like you
Hmm.
just said. But yes, resistance to change is a given
Yes.
in any of these projects. That's why I say they're people projects. You
Hmm.
have to make sure that everyone is on board, and that's where we come in. That's where we have awesome people like Billy to lead these initiatives. So let's see. Sarah says, yes, having that objective perspective is such a huge benefit for us as consultants. Yes, absolutely. And then Malka asked a question. How do you introduce stakeholder buy-in, and how does this help with preventing resistance to change?
So I think it's, you give the vision. Here's the plan, right?
Mhm.
So we have that. And then allowing people to help determine how it's going to impact them, like, and giving them skin in the game. Um, I will use a personal example here, like with my stepson. I don't do anything like where I pay for every, he's older, but we don't pay for anything in full. Like it's
Mhm.
half and half because I know he'll complete it. Like if he has skin in the game, if there's a pain point for you, like you're invested in it, you're going to follow through and do it. And that's the same with these projects. If the each individual department knows, hey, I have one person from my department and they're vested, this is what they're saying, this is what they're coming back and telling us is happening, this is why it's happening, and they're vested as a group in their outcome, that makes a
Mhm.
difference and helps the resistance to change and gets people on board. And you have that cheerleader. And I think every department, part of the change needs a personal cheerleader. Like you need someone to be like, hey, this is why we're doing it. Here's what's happening. And they're going to get down sometimes, but that's where you have that connection with a stakeholder group where they can come back and get rejuvenated and like go back
Mm.
out and get their team back on board if they need to. But it's really a lot of pep rallies sometimes, just getting people
Yes.
back up, like just encouraging them and sharing and like, here's our end goal. We're almost there. I've seen people do graphs in their office, like here's like we've gotten done and like coloring it in as it goes. So you see visually, you see the end point. And I guess sometimes it's just knowing how some people process visually, some people process
Mm.
just hearing, some people need it written down, but having all those different types of touch points. So everyone stays involved and feels valued. Like they feel like what they have feedback wise means something. And it's not just like, well, we decided we're doing this. Like, when someone does push back, why are they pushing back? Like, is there a legit concern here? And I think that's important to listen to them to figure out like what's going on and then cheering them back around. Like you don't lose the sight of your end goal, but getting them
Right.
on board and addressing that concern.
Yeah, I think sometimes we forget that these agencies and the stakeholders, they have day jobs,
Hmm.
right? So think about that. That you know, they're having to run their airports or their school systems or
Hmm.
you know, cities, their counties. Like they have a day job. They have things that they have to do to serve their constituents. So, and then we're coming in asking them to do multiple things. So,
Hmm.
how do you manage that, Billy, from a project management standpoint? How do your teams assist with that?
Yeah, checking in with your stakeholders and the people doing the work, because sometimes they are going to get overwhelmed. And it's okay to say, hey, you know what? Let's take a pause on this. You focus on what you need to get done and we'll pick up. But always have a set time when you're going to pick back up. Like it's okay to pause. And I will say that so many times it's okay to take a pause, but it has to have an end. Like you can't pause indefinitely. It's like, okay, you need a day pause, a 2 day pause to get
Yep.
caught up on whatever this is, and then we'll pick back up on testing, or whatever you need to pick back up on, pick back up on it, but allow people to have a pause so they don't feel like they're drowning and overwhelmed. But then doing those check-ins with your main people that you know are involved in, be like, are you okay? Are we going too fast? Like, what do we need to do? So then you can keep leadership updated on it. And they may need to know, like, they've been assigned to this project and it's highly important and valued by their leadership above them. Leadership doesn't realize everything else that's on their plate. And sometimes we can go and advocate on behalf of them and say, hey, like this person is extremely overwhelmed. Yes, this is when our deadline for this, scope is. How do we want to handle this? And including upper leadership. So they're part of the decision making, but also so their people feel valued and seen and not just like, well, they don't care. I just got to get this done. I got to get this. And it makes it better, like, all around. It keeps morale up, and when morale's up, projects move forward quickly. When morale goes down, that's a whole disaster. Like, you have to reboost everyone back up, and that's not fun to have to do that.
Yeah. Do you feel as though the end user sometimes may or may not get left out in a project like this, or maybe they
Yeah.
feel left out? And if so, what do you think the reasoning is behind that? And how do we change that, right? To make sure that that person feels heard?
I do feel like they do feel they're left out. And sometimes they are. Like, it's just they're not involved in the meetings all the time. They're not involved in the testing. They're the people that have to use it, though. So the way to avoid that is to give them updates and even
Mhm.
stop in and listen to them. I know one of the things I do on one of the projects I'm currently in is once a week I stop with the end user. So they're not part of any of my meetings, nothing at all. But I pass them, I know who they are, and I'll stop and just talk to them sometimes. Be like, hey, here's what we're working on. If they've asked me, like, hey, where are we at on this? This is
Mhm.
where we are. Give them an update so they feel valued and seen and heard. And it actually keeps their energy up. Like, they are excited about the project, even though they're not involved in any of it yet. But
Right.
it's going to impact them in the big end. It's their daily work life that's going to change. Um, and I think it's fair to let them know what's coming. But so communication, you've said it earlier, communication is key. Like, without it, and just constant updates, even if you feel like, well, they don't care, you don't know that. Like, you don't know what that little nugget, like, someone valued me enough to share this or stop by and make sure I knew this, how far that goes with people. Um,
Mhm.
and getting those end users, sometimes even if they're not in your meetings, but if they have the energy and are excited, they're going to help the people doing the work stay excited and have the energy.
They will cheerlead for you. You get
Mhm.
them on board and you show them how their day-to-day is going to change and how it's going to become a lot easier. They will be your cheerleaders for
Very
these
sure.
projects. So Jim, hi Jim, thank you for joining us today. So he asked, does Avero offer post go live services for end users? Yes, we do. Avero wants to keep a client forever, so we will absolutely offer post go live services at after go live, post go live. That's what that means. So sorry, lost my train of thought. So yes, Jim, to your question, do you have any additional thoughts to that, Billy?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think that's a part we sometimes forget about. Like, we've made it to live, yay! We did our weekly after check-in or month after check-in, and like wipe our hands of it. And I think that's really important not to do that. Like, it's important to have that continue touch point and check-in for as long as the client needs it. Like, some people are going to need it a lot longer just because
Mhm.
they're uncertain or unsure. And sometimes they just want you to continue to help them navigate the email and communication process
Mhm.
of something. So I think it's client by client based, but it's extremely important the level that we do this.
I think it's important to ensure that they're still utilizing the system that
Hmm.
they are going to be paying for a long time,
Yes.
right? Just as a check-in, and if it's not going well, then we can do something different and help them
Hmm.
solve why it's not going well and how we can do it better, more efficiently. But yes, Jim, we want to stick around as long as possible with
Hmm.
our clients. So. Um, Billy, I was just sorry. I don't think we have any more questions, guys. If we don't get to all of the questions today, we'll make sure to go back in and comment. Real quick, make sure you scan our 2025 ERP checklist for local government here with the QR code right in front of our faces, and make sure that you join us on all social media platforms. We are nerds about digital transformation, specifically in the public sector, and we'd love to hear from you. So, Billy, what is one piece of advice that you would give our viewers today if they're thinking about starting a digital transformation project or having those conversations within their organization?
Listen to what people are telling you they need,
Hmm.
because you may think you know what your people need. You may think you know what someone's issue is or what their problem is. But one thing I have learned is my problem and my need is not what yours is. Like, and I can't
Right.
transition what I have issues with or what my concerns are to you. It's really important to find out from you. So find out from your teams, like what is their biggest pain point? And you may be surprised. It may not be what you think it is. Like, and that's part of the listening and discovering, like, but just talk to your team. If they had a dream list of what would make their job easier, what does that look like? And then
Hmm.
use that to help you guide your process to getting the ERP or optimizing your ERP. You may not need a new ERP. You may need to optimize the one you have. And we do that as well. And that's some of the projects I'm on. And it's fun. But you can optimize what you're using. It may not need to be a clean sweep of what you have going on. It may need to be, how can we take what we have? It's working majority of places, but we have some tweaks it didn't implement out well or something happened. And how can we fix that? Like, how can we help? And but listen to your team. Like, they're
Hmm.
gonna tell you what they need and what they want. And if you ask and truly listen, you're gonna get some good feedback and it's gonna help.
Absolutely. Break down those silos. The only
Mhm.
way you can break down those silos is by, taking the step forward and asking and communicating and listening. I love
Mhm.
that advice. Listen more than you talk. I have an issue with that. I'm working on it. But yes, listen to what your teammates need because, yes, that one department can own a project, right? But that doesn't mean that they get everything that they want out of this initiative. Uh, Everybody from each
Mhm.
department needs to have a seat at the table, and that's how you do it. And if you don't know how to do it, Avero does. So call
Yes,
us. Well,
definitely.
Billy, oh, go ahead. Oh,
Oh, I was just gonna say, definitely would love to help you guys. Like, it's fun. Like, that part of the process
it
is
is.
fun for us. We enjoy it.
We do. We do. We love people. And if you can't tell, we're very passionate about the work that we do. Billy, thank you so much for joining me today. I thought this was a great conversation. Guys, again, if we didn't get to everyone's questions, we will go back in and comment. Please reach out to us if you have any question whatsoever. We love to hear from you guys. And if we don't hear from you, we will see you next Wednesday.